How many times have you watched a TV show or movie and discovered a character that reminds you of a member of your own family? Well, it's happened to the three of us. And in honor of this weekend's Mother's Day, we decided to celebrate the TV and movie moms who imitate our own matriarchs. And I'm going to start. It's going to start with me this time.
Yay.
The TV mom that most reminds me of my mom, Cindy, is the one and only Beverly Goldberg of the Goldbergs. Excuse me. Not only was she a quintessential 80s mom with the big hair, shoulder pads, and bewildering sweaters, she also loves, adores, and occasionally smothers her three children. I will say, because I know she's watching this with her mouth open, aghast right now, but my mom is nowhere near the type of smother that Beverly Goldberg is. But I think, like most moms, she has her moments. She's also not quite as outrageous and boisterous as Beverly is, maybe back in the 1980s. But today, she's somewhat of a cross between Beverly Goldberg and Phyllis from The Office. A gentle, sweet, nurturing matriarch who can become a tornado of chaos at the drop of a hat. But I will say that the thing about Beverly that reminds me of my mom the most is how supportive she is of all of her kids' interests. When I see Adam Goldberg with his room full of Star Wars action figures and movie posters and all the other things he loved, it reminds me of how my mom always supported my interests, from Ninja Turtles to Nintendo to Ghostbusters to professional wrestling. We didn't have tons of money, but she always made sure my sisters and I had all of the things we needed and most of the things we wanted. And that love and encouragement has extended through adulthood. And now we are generally well-adjusted grown-ups who still love Ninja Turtles and Nintendo and professional wrestling, and she still supports us. So cheers to you, Mom. Love you. And thanks for being like Beverly and occasionally like Phyllis. I don't know if my mom watches The Office and if the Phyllis reference will, I don't know how she'll feel about that. So, but she will text me within 5 minutes to let me know. Liz, who's the mom that you have selected?
Oh boy, I really tried not to throw Margie under the bus. So I did her a favor, I think, with this one. So many things remind me of my mom. Understand that my mom was a teenage mom and had me very young. So I feel like I got the pleasure, I'll use that word, of growing up with Margie. And so there were many things that we sort of did together, lots of mistakes and, all of that. But the one that I chose that I thought reflected Margie, and I'll tell you why, is Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia Adams in Wednesday. You'll be able to catch this on Netflix throughout the rest of the year. So if you haven't already seen it, definitely catch it. But Catherine Zeta-Jones, her character specifically in the Wednesday version of this, I mean, we all know Morticia Adams. But I think the way that it really spoke to me is that she reveals something to Wednesday in the series that really has Wednesday looking at her mother differently. And not necessarily in a bad way, just realizing that your mother is actually a person and has a past and has maybe done things in their life that, way before you and you didn't realize. And so I feel that same connection with my mom, the way that Wednesday feels about her mom is that sometimes they really get on your nerves. And again, all in love, Margie. But they really do sometimes just can work your nerves, but really do care about you and want to see you do well and really don't want to see you make some of the same mistakes that they have in their past life. And so I see my mom differently now as I've gotten older and I have children and I'm a mother, that I could see how well she did with what she had. Just like you, David, you mentioned not having a lot of money. So we grew up the best way that my mom could at the time with what she had. And I'm always so proud of her story, and just her resilience. And I felt that same thing with Morticia. So I hope, Mom, if you're watching, that this wasn't too horrible, and that you have that you just know that I love you so much. So that's it. What about you? What about Sammy?
I can't wait. Wait, before we move on to Sammy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I want to ask Liz, if we asked your kids what movie mom reminded them of you, what would they say?
The pressure. I don't know, and that's I'm gonna have to ask them now, because now I absolutely have to know that. But I don't watch the Kardashians very much, but I think that I would be the mom in the Kardashians. I think that's what my kids would say. Yeah, I think I would be Kris Jenner. And can I be honest? And Mom, if you're watching this, like literally, we always say that my mom is like Kris Jenner, and I didn't want to go there. Like I wanted to do something a little nicer, but my mom is. She was young, so she always felt like she was like one of my friends. And I feel like Kris Jenner tries to do that, like, with her girls, and just be very friendly and wants to be like on their level. And so, yeah, I would hope that they didn't say that, but I hope not. Damn.
There are worse.
David,
there are
now
worse
you got me
things.
thinking. I have to ask them.
Love it. All right, Sammy, who did you pick? Who's your TV or movie mom?
So this was kind of difficult because there's really no one quite like Kris. And I mean that in really the best way. But I've actually picked two of my favorite TV moms, and I'm going to kind of combine them a bit. So my first is Claire Dunphy from Modern Family. So Claire, she not only bears like a kind of striking resemblance to my mom, but she was absolutely that mom that kept track of everyone's schedules, master calendar, PTA mom, bake sale, driving us all around town to our sports and activities and various extracurriculars, and just had a handle on everyone, very much like Claire does. But Claire is known for being maybe a terrible cook. That's a running joke throughout the series, of which is the reason that I have my second pick, Miss Shirley Maisel of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. My mother, like Shirley, is a top-tier home cook. She shows her love through food, and I really grew up spoiled in that department. Always hosting, always making sure everyone is fed, that we had dinner on the table like every night all together. And just like Shirley and Claire, my mom is just as strong, determined, fiercely loving of her family and her children, and very protective. She's unlike anyone else, and I wouldn't be here without her. So happy Mother's Day to you, Mama. I'm sure you're crying.
I love it. Sammy, to be like absolutely honest, the what sparked the idea for this segment was seeing a photo of your parents on Instagram and being like, those look like the two coolest people I've ever seen. Just like fashionable, like they looked like, sorry to Sammy's mom, I think, I hope you take this as a compliment, like really cool Hogwarts professors. Like they just like look like the coolest people. And I was like, I want to know who Sammy says her mom is most like. So that's what sparked this whole idea.
I love that. She will love that. Yes, as will my dad. It was also very cool, but not much like Claire Dunphy or Shirley Maisel.
Can your mom like cook some things and you bring it into the office, please?
Yes, absolutely. That's what she would do growing up too. She would make like cookies, guacamole one time. Yeah, it was
as well.
I love some random guacamole.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there and to our moms as well. And you can check out the TV and movie moms we just talked about simply by saying what to watch into your voice remote.